Hey everyone, Greg Woodward here, and this is your weekly win. The spoken word represents the minority portion of communication. Most of it's body language, tonality, and what's called inflection points. In this brief video, we're going to unpack 2 ways that you can use tonality like an instrument to effectively influence prospects. Some studies suggest that the spoken word itself represents only 10% of what we respond to in our communication. So the good news is that you already are an expert at using tonality and inflection points because you do it naturally when speaking with friends and family, but perhaps you don't know how to do it deliberately when speaking with prospects. And to be a master communicator and influencer, you must know how to be deliberate with your tonality when speaking on the phone with prospects. So it's really not as much what you say as it is how you say it. And tonality has 5 times more impact on the subconscious mind than the actual words that you use. And the conscious mind reads every subtle nuance of your tonality just like it does with body language. Okay? Now, you may be thinking to yourself that body language doesn't really matter here because prospects can't see you over the phone, right? Wrong. Your prospects can hear body language very clearly over the phone, and that creates a crystal clear image in their mind, very similar to what it would be like if you were standing there in person. Okay? When making calls, you want to use body language to help guide your inflection points and your tonality, and you want to be sure that you're always standing up when making calls because it's very hard to do this, to really emphasize the body language when you're in seated position. All right? And your prospect is going to mirror the energy that you're conveying over the line, and it's very hard to convey energy when you're sitting down. Okay? Another thing you can do that will really help you be more deliberate with tonality is called arching your words. And you can arch your words to engage prospects and convey credibility and confidence when you're making a point. So if you're arching upwards, right, upwards, at the end of a sentence, what that can do is it can convey neediness. Whereas if you arch upwards when you're repeating back the last few words of a prospect's concern or maybe a response to a question they gave you, what that does is it actually conveys empathy and understanding. So if a prospect responds to a question with something like, our biggest challenge is really with onboarding, then acknowledging that point with an upward tonality like this, challenges with onboarding, okay, is a good use of this technique, all right? And if you're arching downwards, okay, with an entire sentence, just arching downwards, that comes across really clearly to your prospect that there's no enthusiasm there. So an example of arching downwards would be, and I'm going to use the same sentence for each example, I'm calling because I see online that you're hiring reps to ramp and scale your outbound prospecting. The whole thing just went like this, okay? But there's a subtle twist here. Arching downward at the very end of a sentence can actually be strategic for you because it conveys authority. So that speech pattern actually looks like an upside down U, okay? It just goes up, levels off, and comes back down again, okay? So here's an example of using the same sentence. I'm going to arch downward at the end to convey authority. I'm calling because I see online that you're hiring reps to ramp and scale your outbound prospecting. See that? To ramp and scale your outbound prospecting. Okay? It conveys authority. And again, if you arch upward at the end of that sentence, it would sound needy, and the cliche term would be you'd sound like a salesperson, right? I'm calling because I see online that you're hiring reps to ramp and scale your outbound prospecting. You don't want to come across like that, all right? So practice this and think about the shapes. You never really want to go like this, right? Because it expresses a lack of enthusiasm, right? Sometimes you want to go like this when you're trying to build energy or express empathy and understanding to the prospect. But for the most part, when you're trying to influence prospects, particularly when you're making phone calls, you want to go like this, okay? You want to go like this with your tonality. So ending on an up note versus ending on a down note, that's the takeaway here. Know which one to end on. It's usually going to be the down note unless you're restating the last few words of a prospect's comment or response to a question. Inflection points is another element to this, and there's an interesting exercise from a sales guru named Zig Ziglar that really demonstrates how you can place an emphasis on any word in the same sentence and completely change the meaning of the sentence. So I'll show you what this exercise is. Think of the sentence, I didn't say he stole my car. I'm going to go through the sentence, and each time I'm going to put an inflection point on a different word, and you'll see how the meaning completely changes. So here we go. I didn't say he stole my car. I didn't say he stole my car, meaning maybe someone else said it. I didn't say he stole my car, meaning maybe I implied it. I didn't say he stole my car, meaning someone else did, right? I didn't say he stole my car, meaning maybe he borrowed it, right? I didn't say he stole my car, meaning he stole somebody else's car. Maybe he stole yours. I didn't say he stole my car, meaning maybe he stole my watch, right? Maybe he stole something else. So every time I changed the inflection point on just one word in that sentence, the entire meaning of the sentence changed. The way you use tonality can really make the difference in your phone discussions with prospects. Being deliberate with your tonality to engage and influence prospects over the phone is critical to success with prospecting. And when we have success with prospecting, we win.